Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll start a new build series. It will be the Tarangus Saab JA-37 Viggen, a fighter that served in the Swedish Air Force from 1979 to 2004. And as you may have seen in the Change of Plans video, I have taped the airplane together just to check the fit, and it will be a little bit bigger than I thought it would, but on the other hand I've seen the real aircraft, so it's quite big, and I intended this to be an out-of-the-box build originally, but then for me Viggen is synonymous with this camo pattern, and I didn't want to try to tape this camo, so I purchased Maestro Models camo masks for this one. And since I was buying that mask, I thought I might as well buy the cockpit mask. And then, as I posted at IPMS Gothenburg's site that I had purchased this kit, it was suggested that you need a pitot tube and also some resin wheels. And since I was already deep in the pockets, I've got myself the photo etch for the cockpit as well. So much for an out-of-the-box build. But that's it for this model. That's all the aftermarket there will be. I was looking at getting a resin seat as well, but from the posts that I found there was no seat that was really exceptional when it comes to the Viggen, so I decided I'll use the stock seat that came with the model. So let's get started. We have the instructions here for the cockpit, and then we go on to the air intakes. We put the cockpit, no, that's not the cockpit, that's the front wheel bay. And the air intakes into the fuselage. Then we build up the afterburner, or the engine, part of the engine. We put that in the rear part of the fuselage. Then we add the rear part, the front part, to the bottom of the delta wing with the landing gear bay doors. That all goes together, and then we put the top half of the delta wings on, the air intakes and the nose gear, or nose cone, sorry. And then the tail fin goes on, the front landing gear, the bay doors, the main landing gear, then the canards go in, the external fuel tank, I think that one is, and some bits and pieces for the aircraft. And this is the revised parts that are included in this kit. So let's start by looking at the ejection seat. And I got the pieces off the sprue, and I noticed there was couple of ejector pin marks, one here and one here, so I started sanding those out, and then I dry fitted, and as you can see there's quite a big seam running down the center, and most of it will be covered by this part, which goes in here like that, but you're still left with this seam, and then you have a piece to go on top here. So I actually started this kit at C4 in Malmö, where I purchased the kit, so I've started a little bit. I built this seat up in Malmö, but that was all that was done in Malmö. And since we have the photo etch for this kit, we need to have a look at the instructions, and most of the kit photo etch has to do with the seat and the interior of the cockpit, so there are quite a few pieces here to add to the seat that will make it look better. Also a panel for the tub with some rails for the ejector seat, some radios and stuff. The HUD needs to have some plastic, and that's for this part here, needs to be filled with plastic, and then the HUD goes on top of that one. And we also need to add some pieces of photo etch for the top here, but that will be a bit down the road, a bit further down the road. So what I'll do next is that I'll prime this one and start painting. It needs to be painted in steel. These two parts and these two parts needs to be painted in green. There needs to be yellow here and here. I think it was this handle and this handle need to be painted red. And then we have quite a few pieces of photo etch to add. This needs to be olive drab if I'm not mistaken. And this needs to be some metal color as well, steel or aluminum. So I won't bore you to tears with all the painting and so on, so I'll get this done and I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, we're back. Last time we had a pilot seat looking like that, the catapult seat in grey plastic, looking quite boring. It's been quite a while since the last recording, and I've used 8 or 9 colors, I think, on the ejection seat, and I've used roughly 30 pieces of photo etch for the cockpit and interior. So the new ejection seat looks like this. It has seat belts and handles for ejecting and some foot leg guards. Let's not drop it too many times because the PE has a tendency to come off. So I have painted this in 4 different green colors, yellow and red. The grey color, steel, and semi-matte aluminium, I think it is. cockpit tab has been done as well. Here we have some more PE parts, all the controls, instrument panels and so on has been done, and this actually slides down. If I can get this to work, it should slide down in between those rails. There we go. It sits like that. So that's the cockpit. I've also put a bunch of PE here. We have a couple of rails there and some radio and so on. So if we put the tab into the chassis, it looks like this, and as you can see we have the two level control panels here. You have the HUD, the instrument panel and so on. The HUD will go on here, and as you can see I managed to fill that gap. It's looking quite decent. What else have we done offline? I've constructed the air intakes, painted that steel color, as I read a post from someone who had served in the Swedish Air Force maintaining the aircraft, and he said it was all natural metal in there, so I decided to go with steel. And this will be going on here. We can put the cockpit in for now, because that one goes underneath the cockpit, I think. Like no, it's actually behind the cockpit. It goes like that. So what's next? Fitting the cockpit to the upper fuselage. This has been done. I have the painted wheel bay in grey, so I can put that part in the lower fuselage. Then we can merge the two halves and put the air intakes and this panel in. We need to drill a couple of holes in the lower hull. We also need to make a hole for the RAT, the ram air turbine, that we have parts for here, and that part is here. So this cutout here is this piece here. We need to cut that away so we can put these 4 pieces in place for that one. It's actually this panel that needs to be cut out, not this one. This panel needs to be cut out here. And then we need to paint and install these 3 parts here before we can merge the two fuselage halves together like this. And then there will be quite a lot of gaps to monitor, make sure they are filled. And then after that we go on to building the engine, adding the engine to the rear fuselage, merging the two halves, and then adding the wheelbase to the bottom of the delta wing and adding that to the fuselage. So that will all be in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy modeling. Bye bye.